This week on the Slaptail Squad, we're talking about quitting and failures. Apparently, the Beaveman's okay with quitting, but the rest of the squad seems a bit skeptical. I don't know. Who knows? I guess maybe they're not losers like the Beaveman. You decide. Because this is the Slaptail Squad, and by God, we value your opinion. So let's get slapping.
Slaptail Squad, assemble.
If you are listening to this, you are a member of the great Slaptail Nation, my nation. And who am I? Yo soy Beaveman, master of the universe, creator of all things great and small, and Lord High Commander of the great Slaptail Nation Army. And with me today is my number 2, live from the Uniden, the Rons.
Hey, Beaveman, how's it going?
It's going quite well. You know, Rons, you don't know how to use a green screen, but by gosh, you do know how to mess with the fonts on StreamYard. Good for you, buddy. Way to go.
I was wondering if you noticed that. Yeah, as far as the green screen, I haven't used one in a while.
Today.
Also,
just never gets it, does he? He just never. I like to give him this in to start talking. He doesn't, but he just keeps talking, doesn't he? Also with us today, sitting next to me here in the Beaver Den, is the Swan. Say hello, Swan.
Hello, Swan.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Once again, Swan, you don't fall for those tricks of mine, do you?
Nope.
How have you been today, by the way?
Not gonna do it.
Not gonna do it? Not gonna do what?
Nope.
Okay. All right, then. And also with us today, Special Chocolate, our own personal pudding pop.
I guess the Beaveman's used to that statement.
Also with us today,
anyway.
Dead air.
Special Chocolate, our own personal pudding pop, Tremonde.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
A good evening, Tremonde. Bronze?
Good evening, B-Man.
Bronze?
Yes.
Bronze?
Yes.
Bronze.
Yes.
Good evening.
A good evening, Beaveman.
Swan?
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Creepy.
That's creepy and doesn't even sound right. I think you need to prepare me for that.
Why? It's funnier when I don't prepare you for it.
No, because you got to use like a different voice or just.
Want to try it again?
No.
Swan?
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's almost terrifying. Hey, have you guys seen that movie, The Boy?
Yes.
Rons, have you seen that movie?
No, I haven't.
That's what it's called, right? The Boy? Isn't that what it's
I
called?
think so. Yeah.
Horror movie. It's about this doll with like a porcelain face.
Don't give it away. Don't do a spoiler.
You should totally watch it. I want to see the second one now.
Yeah.
I heard the second one's better than the first one.
All right.
Okay.
We're going to have to check it out. Check it out. I don't know if you know this. The Beaveman does not like dolls.
I don't.
You didn't know that?
He doesn't like dolls.
Why not?
That's not true. You like action. Well,
No. I don't
Here's the
like
dilemma.
the
Action
creepy
figure
dolls. No.
and a creepy porcelain doll figurine.
so you don't like action figures then?
No. I like action figures. I don't like dolls. I don't like traditional dolls. No, I don't like those. You know, like
Okay, I was going to say, what's the difference between dolls and action figures?
He-Man or a freaking creepy porcelain doll with porcelain arms and legs and a poofy dress and fake hair and eyes that look just haunting.
Yeah, traditional.
Look
So
at your
basically your
grandma's
fun day.
house. Yeah.
I also don't like ventriloquist dummies. Those are my least favorite. Do not like ventriloquist
And
dummies.
clowns.
Yeah, I don't like clowns either. But I really wouldn't like a clown if it was a ventriloquist dummy.
Note to self.
Note to self. No ventriloquist dummies.
No clown ventriloquist
Anyway,
dummies.
that's the B-Man's pick of the week. The Boy. I probably have it wrong.
Yeah,
I
there's
think
something
it's
funny
the
about
boy.
not liking clowns.
Yeah. Hilarious, Rons.
I know.
Yeah, you're funny. Tremonde, how many things have you failed at in life? Don't take too
I would
long.
like to think a lot.
You would like to think that you failed a lot?
I would think so. I almost failed. Well, I almost failed. That's different than failing.
Would you almost fail?
I cheated in college once.
Really? Do tell us more.
Really?
I
He
mean,
told us
you're
this.
beyond the.
He did. He told us this. But go ahead. Tell the story again.
Did he
If
tell us on a
looks could
podcast?
kill.
Yes. He did tell us on a podcast.
Okay. If you say so. I'll believe you. But refresh my memory,
So-
Tremonde. What did you cheat at? The
Yes.
statute of limitations on your cheating are
In
far.
history class. In history class.
Okay.
Yep.
How did you cheat?
So making a long story short, you had to record your final exam in a blue book. The professor gave us like a study guide of like 25 questions. However, only 10 were going to be on the exam and you only had to answer 5. So it's like, how am I supposed to remember all of this information and you're only going to select a certain number of questions and then I only have to respond to a certain number? So I wrote down the answers and then I just slid pages in the back of my blue book. And as I answered the questions, I just took them out, hit it, and submitted it.
I don't know. Is that cheating?
I mean, that's being creative.
I don't know if
I mean,
that's
it
cheating.
technically is probably cheating because you're supposed to go in there with a blank book, right? Not a
Right.
pre-written book. But I mean, I give you props for,
I'll allow it.
I'll allow it.
I believe
It was creative cheating.
I believe it's not cheating.
It was using your resources wisely.
Yes, I have decided that it's not cheating,
It's-
and it's fine.
It was recycling. You were just
I've been-
recycling that paper.
I've been carrying that burden around all these years, and I just
Well,
feel
were you allowed to use notes during your test?
He already said no.
Hey, try to follow along. I don't know if you know this, Ross.
No.
No,
You guys didn't see what happened on my end. So
I'm
I
extremely
will tell
happy
you.
that you muted yourself so you weren't making noise, but you probably do want to listen to what we already said.
No, you don't know what happened on my
No,
end.
you
So I'll
don't know
fill you
what
in. My
happened on our
screen
end.
went black. No, you're right. I don't. The screen went black on my end.
Okay.
And they had to
He was
reconnect,
having
so I
tech
don't know what was
issues
said.
with his savvy tech self. So
Oh.
it's okay. We'll forgive you this time.
No, apparently he was not allowed to
Well,
have
thank you.
notes on the test runs.
No notes. Yeah. We forgive
So
you,
how did you
Tremonde.
atone for this atrocity?
What atrocity?
Well,
He's
it's
just
a
making
burden
up
that
a
he's carrying around.
conversation now because he missed it, so he feels like he needs to be part of it.
What atrocity exactly? The man cheated, quote, cheated. And as I said out loud, I don't think that's cheating. On his history test. Tremonde, are you some sort of a historian?
no.
Do the decisions you make now affect history in any way, shape, or form because you passed that test?
No.
If you were to go back in time to change the course of history, that would be a problem because you probably don't know shit about history. So you'd probably fuck it all up because clearly you cheated on your test.
No.
But since that's not gonna, shut up, Swan. But since that's not going to happen, I think it's fine.
I am going to give Tremonde the benefit of the doubt, and by doing his prep work for the test and writing it all out multiple times and having it well prepared, you probably knew it anyway and you really didn't need those notes, right? Yeah, go with that one. That sounds.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know though because I didn't do that. But yeah,
He actually borrowed the answers from somebody else.
Oh no, I was trying to
Well, that's one
justify
failure.
it for
That's
you.
one failure for Tremonde.
what have you felt at, Beaveman?
Oh gosh, lots of things. So many things. I failed at so many things. One, I was not good at school, so it was not uncommon for me to get a very bad grade. And you just learn to live with that. You learn to become a loser. I learned very early on to become a loser. Never got picked for sports, even if I was good at them. And there was only one sport that I was good at, but I still didn't get picked for it. So sitting the bench was a normal thing. Failing to make like varsity was a normal thing for me. The first thing that I really failed that really bothered me that I can think of was not until I was in the Army, and I failed the most lame thing of lame things. Well, I failed 2 things. The first thing I failed was the expert infantry badge training, testing. I didn't feel that bad about it because out of it was like 3 battalions worth of people, there was like less than 10 people that got that. So I
Okay,
guess
so
I'm
what
not
is
feeling
that?
bad.
Nobody knows what that is.
I was getting ready to explain it
Okay, thanks.
before you started fucking talking.
Okay, well, that's how conversation works. You just don't get to talk continuously. We get to interrupt.
Whose podcast
That's
is
called
this?
conversation.
I'm sorry, what?
Conversation. I'm gonna take your buttons away. Fuck you. Beat it.
Anyway,
You know, it's going to sound like she said something really bad there and that we finally had to edit something out. That's awesome.
what I was about to say was, yes, I was an infantryman. Without going into too much detail, that is your warfighter job. Okay. So,
Hurrah!
in order to get a badge on your uniform that denotes that you are an expert at all those tasks, they have multiple tasks that you have to learn and do in a timely manner. A lot of those tasks are timed. It's multiple things that you have to do. It's several days that you have to do. You still train several days for it, and the testing is several days. You have to pass all of them. You can only do 2 things wrong, which you have to correct those if you miss them. And if you pass, then you get to wear this badge that denotes that you are a, quote, expert infantryman. And that was the first thing that I failed. I failed that in Germany. That was the first thing that I ever failed in the Army. And then the second thing I failed in the Army was completely ridiculous. And that really bothered me also. But it was stupid, so I don't even know why. But it still bothers me to this day, actually, that I failed that. The second thing I failed was called dunker training. And I felt bad that I failed it, but not because of being a failure, but because I couldn't swim. That's why I failed it. And I told them I couldn't swim. I was like, I'm going to fucking drown. So basically what they do is it's training for if you were to crash your helicopter in the water. So if you're a part of a helicopter crew and the helicopter goes down into the water, you have to do this exercise to prove that you could possibly survive should your helicopter crash in the water. And what it is they've got like a big cement cylinder, just like they use in the sewer systems. It's a big cement cylinder, and inside that cylinder there are seats with your seat belts and all that other stuff. And what it does is it drops you in the water, it flips over upside down. You have to wait for it to flip upside down, then you disconnect, and then you swim out through the exits that are supposed to simulate the doors of the helicopter. Well, I didn't make it that far because in order to make it that far, you had to be able to tread water for 5 minutes in your uniform and boots, and I can't do that. And I told them, I'm like, I can't do that. And I immediately sunk. And thankfully, thank God, in the pool with us were Navy SEALs. And as soon as I started to dunk under the water a little bit, one of those big old buff Navy SEALs just pushed me to the side of the pool and almost pushed me completely out of the pool.
Yeah, thank God they didn't strap you to a freaking cement tube underwater. You'd have been like drowned hanging there.
No, actually, that's not. I would have got out. That would have been easy. That part of but in order to actually do that part, I had to tread water.
Yeah,
I would have totally got out. That would have been fun. That's easy. That part's easy. Treading water is not easy.
How many minutes did you make it?
I didn't make it a minute, I'm sure. I had boots on.
12 seconds.
Like, who's treading water with boots on?
I'm kicking my feet and you're just sinking.
Yeah, I was like, I told him, like, I cannot do that at all. I'm like, you want me to float on my back? I could probably do that, but I can't tread water definitely not with boots on. That was the second thing I failed. But other than that, not too much stuff. But I fail all the time. And you know what?
What?
Failings kind of sucks, but quitting is kind of cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Romani shaking his head.
Smoking.
No.
Quitting is cool.
Yeah, you quit smoking. It's better for you. Quit drinking. It's better for you.
No, not even that. That's like quitting like lame things. I mean, I guess those are things that you should not start to begin with. But he's like meaning like quitting your fucking job and telling everybody to go fuck themselves. Like that's fun quitting.
Oh, there's a fun quit.
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't you just like to be like, peace, see ya, don't really care anymore?
What have you failed at, Swan?
Probably a lot of things, but when you told us this topic, I thought of when I was in high school and in calculus, and it was probably the hardest thing ever. And
Ever?
well, I mean, the hardest class. I never had to study in school. I always got straight A's and never had to read. I just like took notes in class and learned it. And I spent the entire hour and a half doing a 2-problem calculus test. Didn't even complete one of the problems and got a 43% on my.
Fucking loser.
Yeah. But everybody, that was the point. He wanted us to fail it. He wanted us to fail it.
So is it really failing that?
I mean,
if you wanted you to fail,
it wasn't even completing it. I didn't even complete it, but that just goes to show you that you can put all that hard work in, and if you have like one part of it wrong or you don't finish it, you fail. But that's not an excuse to stop. You just keep trying. And so all of us failed, but then he gave us like the next day to complete it all. So.
It's a lame story.
So
Swan.
did you really
That's
quit
the most
or
exciting
fail?
thing that you failed or quit?
I mean, I fail. I don't really fail much.
Oh, well, good for you, Swan. You don't really fail much.
I mean, I think maybe failing is part of getting better. Like you can't be perfect at everything. So if you don't get it 100%.
You just told us you were.
I didn't say I was perfect.
You
no.
just did say that you were.
I just said
You
I don't
literally
fail.
said,
No,
I
I didn't.
don't fail.
I did not. I don't fail. But I'm not. I'm not telling you like I'm fucking perfect at everything or I'm 100% on the top or in the first place. But I'll complete everything that I start.
Definitely her dinner. She'll complete that.
Heck
all day
yeah,
long.
and ask
Breakfast,
for seconds,
lunch, dinner,
bitches.
snacks.
And yours too, motherfucker. Yeah.
You gotta wait for the beep. It's gotta be in the middle of the sentence.
No, it can be whenever I want to.
So, Beaveman, question. A second ago, you was describing your story, and you said that a gentleman pushed you to the edge of the pool, and it caused you to be able to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Are there moments when you will prefer a man to be there to support you in some way, as opposed to a woman?
Well,
for example, like a mechanic or a firefighter.
Well, when I was in, there were no female SEALs, so
right.
I don't even know if there are now. I'm sure there have been, but that was the only option. I would have much rather been felt.
He wouldn't have cared if anybody saved him as long as they were pulling his ass out.
He didn't pull me out.
Pushed you to the side.
First of all, I'm not exaggerating when I say that I would guess, about 6 feet from the edge of the pool. This man was able to push me in the water through 6 feet of water, basically up onto the pool deck. He was a big Navy SEAL. It's no exaggeration. I literally was drowning, and all of a sudden I felt myself pushed very forcefully.
Yeah, because he didn't want you to grab onto him. He didn't want you to grab onto him and pull him down. Yeah, he was
You were riding on his penis.
Yeah.
Like when you were swimming with a dolphin. But the dolphin was his penis.
Yeah, and he just pushed you up like a freaking... Yep.
It did have some sort of a porthole for sure. I mean, I know that.
God. So,
but
it sounds like he was first time he had a man-on-man experience.
Tell us about yours, Rons.
Well, tell us about your first through the 10th man-on-man experiences, Rons.
I haven't had one, but
what about that time that you stripped that guy down? Lies, Rons.
Well, that wasn't a man-on-man experience. He was covered in fuel. That was a big difference.
That's what
Stripped down.
Ron, do you check out?
Ron's calls fuel semen fuel. He was covered in.
Ron, do you check out guys in the locker room?
No. Well, I check out the Beaveman because let's face it, he is ripped.
I was thinking that he did make some comment
Beaveman,
about
do
your
you check out
abs.
guys in the locker room?
No, but I was in the locker room the other day. This was annoying. This was obnoxious. So I'm in the locker room and I'm changing, and this person says to me, "Have you been tanning?"
Who said that? That's funny.
And I was like, no, because you look really tan.
Like, because I'm not.
It's like your arm and your chest looks really tan. And I was just sitting there going, "Why are you?"
Because they were checking you
looking
out.
at the Beaveman and asking him if he's been tanning or spending a lot of time in the sun. Why don't
he was checking you out.
Why don't you just put your clothes on?
Yeah, just get on with your bad self.
No, because it's the locker room.
Tremonde, do you check out
You
guys
could be
in the
mistaken
locker
for a
room?
bronze god.
Yes, I feel like I
And
feel
this is
like
why
all
people aren't
guys.
comfortable going into the locker room with you, Tremonde. Nobody wants to be
I disagree.
irate.
No,
Nobody wants to be
No.
irate, Tremonde. That's uncouth.
that's not necessarily what you're
It's
doing.
That's
market for
uncouth.
you.
I think you
That's
can
uncouth.
I
Walk in
think
and go,
there's
I
a
like
way
that.
that you can look at a person just like straight men check out other women's asses and tits while they're standing next to their woman. I think that's still checking out somebody, and you know how to do it discreetly. And it's not necessarily that
Tremonde,
you're
how do you
like
do it discreetly,
wanting
though?
them.
That is irate, Tremonde.
It's not.
So,
Yes.
Tremonde, how do you do it discreetly?
He's the only guy in the locker room wearing sunglasses. Let me tell you something, Tremonde. You're not being discreet.
No.
And what locker room are you
But I
going
do
in
think-
anyway? What locker room are you going into?
Not too many, really,
He's
because
like, this is my memories
I don't
from
like
like 10 years ago. He's like, this is like 5-10 years ago. Tremonde, seriously. Rons,
interesting.
Yes.
as the resident expert in failure,
Yes.
tell us some
I
of
will
your
accept
biggest
that.
tell us some of your biggest failures.
I quit high school.
Ooh, do tell.
You know,
Did you fail or
Yeah.
did you quit? There's a difference, remember?
a little of
Yeah,
both.
Ron, were you ignorant or were you stupid?
Is it ignorance or apathy?
More ignorant and stupid. You go to school, like the Beaveman said, you get bullied, you just can't handle it anymore.
True.
And there's a lot of other factors that were involved. So I quit high school, and I remember I was cutting class, and I had one teacher come up to me and say, "Don't bother coming back to my class if you're going to keep skipping." So I never went back to that class. Back then, the teachers, in my opinion, this is my opinion, weren't encouraging students to stay.
So,
Even
but did
troubled
anybody
students.
ask you if there was something going on that made you want to quit? Or they just were like, that kid's a fuck up and he's not going to school?
Exactly. No, you hit it right on the. Back then, it wasn't like it is today. There were no support groups or anything like that.
When that
So, I
happened,
quit high
Ron,
school.
let me ask you this question, Ron. When that happened, did you flick up your collar on your leather coat and pull out your comb and comb your hair really quick and go, "Hey"? Did you do that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, well.
He wasn't cool enough.
No, I wasn't cool enough. I wasn't. However, I did go back and complete my high school education, got a diploma. And,
So did you go back to high school
From
or
there.
did you go get your GED?
no, I went back to high school.
So how long were you out of high school when you quit?
About a year.
Oh, well, good for you, man. You went back. Then were you then the smartest person in your grade because you had all that life experience?
No, I was in the same boat as others.
He's like,
but,
no. He's like, nope, I really wasn't. Not even gonna lie.
no,
Did you go to a different school?
I did.
Was it a better experience?
It was actually, believe it or not, it was. The teachers and the instructors and the staff were more geared up for you succeeding than failing. They realized, and they didn't care about your background. They really didn't. They realized that you were there, you made a commitment to come back, and they really wanted you to succeed versus the sardine in a can mentality that, if you pass, you pass. If you don't, you don't.
Oh, so that was that one of those high school nighttime things for adults or whatever?
They did offer day classes, but yes, it was a day and night class.
Okay, that's what my mom
Situation.
did. My mom went to like night high school. I can remember her going. I remember my mom graduating.
That's pretty cool.
But it was a failure on my part as well, and it kind of opened up my eyes. It's like, if you quit, what have you succeeded?
Well,
What
and
have
it
you
was a
done?
failure on your school's part
Yeah.
too. I mean, to be honest.
Yeah, here's the authoritarian dictatorship part of my thoughts on that. I don't think kids should be allowed to quit school. I don't think it should be allowed. You should not be allowed to say, "Yeah, I quit." Like, nope, sorry. So we
I
have to
feel
figure
like
out. One, you have to figure out why you're going to quit, and two, it just shouldn't be allowed. Like, there's no reason why we should allow people to stay dumb. Not saying you were dumb.
However,
Roz.
and I'm going to say this, I'm going to chime in here with Tremonde being a counselor.
Tremonde's
There's
not
not
a
enough
counselor.
counselors out
He's
there.
not a fucking counselor. He's the vice principal. Get it right.
Oh, well.
You
But
don't
he
even
was
know
a
what he
counselor at
fucking
one
does,
point.
Ron.
Well, he was a counselor at one point, working with kids. So, I mean, why not? I mean, there's more support groups.
And I'm a life coach.
Yeah, you are. You are. I mean, come on. Let's face it. You're a life coach.
I don't think they should be allowed to quit either, but I think you should find out the why are you wanting to and give them other options, like your night school option or a different school.
I agree with that. That wasn't available. That wasn't available back in the day. It wasn't.
All right. Well, do you have a funnier quitting story instead of one that's going to make people cry?
It's a Ron success story. This is a happy moment. Let's talk about how many times
did you quit because your mom dropped you on your head too many times as a child.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many times have you wanted to quit your martial art because you got yelled at for not knowing your left from your right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I've heard it about 100 times at least.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Wow, you've got a good memory. Yeah,
still happens.
I would
you have a good remote and recent memory, Swan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would confuse my right and my left, and just under pressure I would crack. Still do to this day, but not as much. So,
but how many times did you want to quit? A lot or no?
He's going to say never.
I won't say a lot, but a few times. Times. After going back to high school, I realized what I could accomplish if I didn't quit.
I'm the opposite.
So
I feel like I could accomplish a lot if I just quit more.
Like what?
Well, it depends on the situation, and it depends on what you're going after. Right?
Well, certain things there's certain things that I feel like I should just quit doing, and that'll just free me up to do something else. That's kind of how I feel about quitting things. Yeah, and that's why I get annoyed when people are like, "Oh, I can't quit." Well, if you're miserable, why can't you quit? If you're miserable doing something, just quit. I'll use the baby swan as an example. The baby swan is miserable with every fucking sport she plays. And so I don't understand that thought process. If you're miserable, don't fucking do it. No, you're not getting paid to do it. Nobody's putting a gun to your head to make you do it. There's no reason to do it. If you're miserable, fucking quit.
So why does she do it then?
Good question.
Because she likes the sport, and then she wants to
bitch. She wants to
it gives
bitch.
her something to bitch about. No, because
that's what Swan does. That's why Swan bitches about every fucking thing. And I'm like, well, just don't do that. No, I'd rather bitch about it.
Exactly. Gives me more content to complain about.
Is that about like your sex life? It's like, I want to have sex. She's like, no, I don't want to do it. And of course, you've discussed this in the podcast earlier in one of the podcasts that now she wants to have sex and you don't.
No, so she's back to not wanting to have sex. So now we both don't want to have sex.
We get more sleep that way.
Yeah. I get to read more. It's fine. I don't care.
But I also think that quitting offered me an opportunity to look at a bigger picture. I've failed so many times where I've said, okay, how can I overcome these failures? And I have. In some aspects, I've failed and I've come back stronger and I've succeeded.
Ron's, raise your right hand.
I've had my right hand. Oh, there we go.
Good job, buddy.
And thank you.
You had to think about it.
And then I had people tell me that I would never do certain things because I've come back and I'm like, fuck you. I'm going to do it. And I've succeeded.
So your failure is revenge. Your success as a result of your failure is revenge.
Yeah, in a way you are correct. It's a way to say fuck you to them and basically stand above them all. Basically, stand on the shoulders.
Maybe that's some backwards motivation. I mean, I know that is why a lot of school things, but they don't want you to have 100%. They want you to fail so that you can do it better. Mm. Or not exactly fail.
I remember when I was...
So apparently I'm the only one that thinks quitting is good. Is that what you're saying?
No, I think quitting is good. Like for Like Ron
You know,
said.
honestly, if you don't like your job and you quit, there's that mental health aspect. Quitting can be fucking fantastic. It can be.
Let me tell you about the first job I quit and how good it felt. I was
It
working.
wasn't a blowjob, was it?
I was working. This was my first job after getting out of the Army. And I was working at a Chi-Chi's restaurant. I don't know if you guys remember the Chi-Chi's restaurant or any of the listening audience remembers.
I do.
I was working at a
Yeah, I
Chi-Chi's
do
restaurant.
too.
And I'd worked there for a little while. And the cook staff were a bunch of young folks. Pretty funny, nice kids. And I would go back there and they'd be screwing off and maybe taking their time making food. So, after a while, you're like, not a big deal, whatever. I'll just keep doing my work. And I went back there one time and they had just fucked off so much that they were late to getting the food out. And so, of course, I'm getting shit from the people waiting on their food. And so I went back there and they were fucking off, not paying attention. So I took the serving tray that I had, one of those round serving trays that you put drinks on or whatever. And I was like, I don't know, 10, 15 feet from the swinging door. And I took that tray and smashed it against the swinging door and went off on them. And they all started cooking really quick. And then, of course, I was like, fuck this place. I'm out of here. I quit. And it was very...
satisfying.
Yeah, it was very cathartic is the word. Because, of course, I just worked for 6 years, 10 months, 29 days, whatever, in the Army, and you can't quit. So that was my first opportunity to actually quit, and I quit pretty well.
And you can't really say fuck off and yell and throw a temper tantrum like that.
No,
either
not
without
really.
Getting in trouble. So
No.
I mean, you can say fuck off creatively in your mind and do other things, but yeah, you really can't say fuck you and smash shit and
like, thank you very much, sir, in the nicest voice ever, which really means go fuck yourself.
basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But the manager tried to get me to stay. I was like, no, fuck that. It was fun. It was fun to quit. It was fun to quit in such an explosive way also.
Well,
Yeah.
one time,
At band camp?
you saying you quit your job. I quit my job at Radio Shack.
The Shack? Well,
Yeah.
Well, you're
Back
bringing up
when
an
there-
old store and I'm bringing up a restaurant that no longer exists.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But I had just started and I was in college and it was during Christmas time because I remember hearing Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas just playing
All I wanted
on
for Christmas was
every
Mariah.
single TV. I don't know. Her voice would just be, amongst other things, would not be my preference.
What would be your preference at that time?
Shut up. Let him continue the story.
Nick Cannon. Just joking. But so, and we just had a meeting like that morning, and there was like, if anyone steals anything, you are not to address the customer. And I remember a guy walked in.
Basically, because if you steal something from Radio Shack, you've already met the lowest time of your life. I'm gonna steal this diode.
A guy walked in, unplugged the flat screen TV, and walked out of the store with it.
And he just
And
got
I was
away with
just
it.
like-
Yeah.
And he got away with it. And I said,
That's impressive because
yes,
they would have been
this
heavy.
is my last day working.
They would have been heavy back then.
Yeah.
It's like a 2-man carry.
It was crazy. I said, no, I'm not doing this.
Did you quit nicely, or did you finish your shift, or did you be like, peace, I'm out?
Oh yeah, I finished my shift. I didn't batteries and stuff off the wall.
You should have like walked out with one of those little remote control robots that they always had at the front of the store. Like, yeah, I'm taking this. Walk out with it.
I hated that. It wasn't my favorite job anyway. So
Well, I guess that's a good story, Shimande. But you didn't smash anything.
Yeah. no, I
You're
didn't.
supposed to be like, you're supposed to rip your shirt off and say Tremonde smash, and then you break something.
I don't think I've ever really got rowdy.
I can't ever see Tremonti getting really upset. In fact, I think he would probably type a nice letter of why he's quitting, submit it, and then go, it was a good run while it lasted. It's just not working out between us.
Yeah.
I quit this other job and threatened to beat the fuck out of the owner's son.
That's fun.
Really? Yeah. Why did you do that? I'm pretty sure there's a good story there.
Oh, he said that I was fired because I flipped him off and I didn't. And then he pointed his finger in my face. Did that thing. And
Yeah.
same thing. I was 25 years old and I'd just been out of the army for a couple months. I said, you better get that finger out of my face or I'm going to break it. And he kept pointing at me and I'm like, all right, I'm about to fuck you up. And then like 4 people had to like step in between them. And then the owner was like, no, he's not fired. It's okay. And I was like, nah, fuck you. I'm out of here.
You're like, I'm not fired. I fucking quit.
That's what I said. I'm like, fuck you.
Well, basically, it sounds like you would have kicked this guy's ass from here to Sunday.
Yeah, I was planning on it. Fucking pointing his finger in my face. I was going to break his finger for sure. I was like, oh, let's break that. Bite it off. Something like that. But I'm a much tamer person now. That was...
Where are you now?
25 years ago?
25 years ago. 24.
Quarter of a century.
Yeah, quarter of a century ago.
Wow.
Do you have explosive moments, Juan?
I don't know. I mean, maybe.
Only on the toilet. Hi-yo!
Hello.
Hi-yo!
Hilarious. I mean,
She'll explode on a buffet. She'll explode on a buffet for sure.
heck yeah.
So, we're talking about your quitting moments. What's your, as the Beaveman said, what's your most successful failure that you've rose up from?
Who?
I've had people tell me that I was going to fail, and I've turned around and told them, "Fuck you." And I'll give you a story here.
Wait.
Hold on now.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You know what I love that people do? I love when
They
people
ask
ask a question, but they're only asking it because they have a story that they want to tell.
Yeah,
Well-
that's the Swan. That's totally the Swan. The Ron is like Swan 2.
No, you're right.
That's the only reason Swan ever asks any questions, because she wants to talk. You get 2 words out and Swan just starts talking. Go ahead and answer the Ron's question, Swan, because he really has something he wants to say.
No, it doesn't bother me one way or another. I just thought I'd keep the conversation going.
He's gonna die right now.
He really
No.
wants.
He wants to.
That's why he's a little swan, because you do the same thing. You can tell that you really want to say something, and you just can't wait.
I know. Sometimes I do that.
What was your question again, Ron, for the swan?
Where have
you rose from the ashes,
yeah.
Swan? When have you rose from the ashes like a phoenix after
Mm.
quitting something?
Yeah, I don't know.
She hasn't.
I don't.
You got to be
I don't
careful
know.
what you're gonna say, Swan, because he's looking over. It looks like he's looking at Mixie, ready to hit that damn button.
Nope,
like
I'm
going,
looking to my left.
That is the.
Nope, I'm looking
Okay.
to my left.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What's your
the
story,
question is,
Ron? I think
Well,
I
I
feel
was
like
gonna
the
keep-
Beefman's best failure was his first marriage. That was a good
Ooh.
failure.
What is that?
No, that wasn't a good failure. How's it a good failure?
Because
I
it
ca- I
got you
can see
to
the
where you
implications
are
here.
today. Like, if that would have never worked out the way it was, and that was probably a good thing that it didn't.
Yeah.
It's not a.
You got the baby swan. You got the swan. You got Tremonde. You got me.
I came out of the marriage.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to dwell on that because I don't think it is a good failure, because the whole thing is a failure because I wasted 8 years of my life.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but look where it got you.
Yeah, it would have got me there a lot faster if I'd have got out of it a lot sooner.
So you would have known Tremonde back in the day.
That's not what I said. Why is Tremonde the focus of my marriage, Rons?
Yeah.
Sexual chocolate should always be the focus
Dude, I
of
didn't-
anybody's marriage.
I didn't even know Tremonde when I was married, Rons.
Mm-mm.
And look where the divorce got you, right closer to him.
Oh, good Lord. His loose correlation
What
is
you
so
just
loose.
said
Yeah, see,
is one
I
of the
was
most
waiting for
insanely
it.
idiotic things I have ever
Yeah.
heard.
I've heard.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response
Yeah, all
were you
right.
even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Yeah. Anyway,
You have to come up with something better.
Well, stop
No,
giving
you're
him
you're the one that doesn't like it, and the reason why you don't like it is because you keep saying stupid shit. That's why you don't like it. If you wouldn't say stupid shit all the time, we wouldn't have to play it all the time.
And if I didn't say stupid shit, you would have nothing. You'd yell at the SWAT
No,
all
we
the time.
could have actually intelligent conversations. But no, it's fine. Hey there, members of the Great Slaptail Nation. It's me, the Beaveman, and I'm here to deliver you a message from beyond the stars about our sponsor for this episode, Swiss Navy. No matter who you love or how you love, Swiss Navy products set the bar for sexual enhancement. There's more glide, more comfort, and even products for longer-lasting pleasure. Swiss Navy has a wide range of premium products to choose from for whatever amount fills your hole, if you know what I mean. My favorite product is Swiss Navy's silicone lube. Get it, use it, love it, and never be dry again. Once again, that's Swiss Navy at SwissNavy.com. And in your order comments, let them know the Slaptail Squad sent you. Swiss Navy, no matter who you love or how you love. Adios, mooch fuckos. So it seems like I'm the only one who's okay with being a big quitter. You know what really annoys me? Most recently, I had this job, and I fucking hated it. And I tried to quit 3 times, and they wouldn't let me quit. They literally wouldn't let me out of my contract. I'm like, this job fucking sucks. You're a fucking asshole. I didn't say that, but I did say this
I mean, you
job sucks.
kind of
But
said.
I kind of
yeah.
did say you're a fucking asshole, and I don't want to work here. So just let me out of my contract. And they wouldn't do it.
But you signed a contract, so you couldn't actually leave.
No, that's not true.
Right? If you had not signed that contract, you could have quit on your own terms.
Apparently, did you read my contract?
No, I did not.
So how do you know that I couldn't end my contract?
I'm pretty sure there's some sort of statement saying you can leave under certain circumstances, but you hadn't met those circumstances.
Again, so you know what my contract said? My contract.
Oh yeah, everybody got a copy of it. In the
My
staff notes.
contract actually specifically stipulated that either party could end the contract without cause at any point in time. That's what my contract stated.
It's just that
So
if you
why didn't
stayed,
you?
you got A, B, C, D. Yeah.
Because they kept
okay.
trying. Because they just literally just kept saying, "No, you can sign a contract." I said, "Yeah, my contract says it's open ended. I can leave whenever I want, just like you can fire me whenever you want." And I'm like, I don't fucking want to work here. Don't need to work here. I'm out of here. But they wouldn't let. They're like, "No, you just give it another try or whatever." And then they're the ones who ended my contract like a month later, after the 3rd time, after me saying, "I fucking hate this place. I don't want to work here." And I was so happy that day that when they told me that they were ending my contract, and I was like, later. But what sucked was they made me work that whole day. And then they ended my contract. I'm like, you could have ended it. I didn't even have to come in. You could have called me and said, hey, but instead you made me fucking come here. I was very happy. That might have been the happiest I've been in years. Up to that point.
So
I've been much happier since. But I mean, up until that point, I'm like, that would have been the most happiest of my times.
Yeah, I definitely think that there are moments when quitting is okay.
Yeah, but
I don't know if it's something that you just want to make a habit of.
Why not? It's fine.
No, I think like Tremonde is getting to the point of you can't just go to whatever class one time that you signed up for, like an 8-week class, and be like, man, that sucks. I don't want to go. Like, you at least have to go 2 or 3 times to see that it's really something you don't want to do. Or if you committed to a team for a season or whatever, it's kind of shitty to walk away and be like, sorry, this sucks.
Yeah, you know what's fun? You talk a lot of shit, but you've quit more shit than most people. But you don't seem to think that you've quit.
Like what?
Let's see. You quit martial arts.
Okay.
You quit all your exercise plans that you say you're going to do.
Okay.
You've quit multiple times when you know how long it took you to actually do a marathon or a triathlon, even though you kept saying you were going to do it, and then you'd start it, and then you'd fuck off and do something else. It took
probably
you
like 12 years at least.
At least.
Yeah.
You quit a ton of shit.
I still completed them. I just put them aside for a while, and then I completed them later. I've completed everything.
Did you really quit?
No, you
quit.
quit.
I have quit. Yeah, I've taken.
No,
how about I
quit.
take hiatuses?
No, you quit. If you never accomplished that task in the first place, you quit.
I
mean, the only thing that you haven't quit is the push away from the table challenge.
Hiyo.
Hey-oh.
You're not even funny.
Only to you.
Yeah. Okay.
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 You quit all the time.
Okay.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah. Clearly, quitting's awesome.
It is. I like it.
I'm gonna quit talking to you. You're like,
Wait a minute.
yay!
Hold on a second. You realize I have that on audio. Yeah, exactly. You realize I have that on audio. Would you repeat that? I can play
You
that
can
back
play
as
it back
a loop.
that says I'm gonna quit talking to you, and you'll be like, yay!
No, I thought you said you are going to quit. In other words, you did quit.
No, I said I'm going to quit talking to
No,
you.
see, that leaves it open ended. Either do it or don't. Stop not being a quitter.
You're dumb. Okay.
I hate that, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, I hate that.
You want me to quit?
Yeah,
Thank-
I do.
Okay.
It's stupid. It's stupid. I fucking hate it.
Ooh, that makes me. It makes me want to do it more.
No, I do think that there's also some utility to putting stuff on hold. Like, that's what the Swan's saying. She puts stuff on hold. But really, if she never accomplished anything, I still call that quitting.
I have run 2 marathons, so therefore I've accomplished more than most people.
Marathons. But most people don't give a fuck about running a marathon.
I
So
feel
does
like
it really
a lot
matter?
of people
Have that on their bucket list.
No, I feel like that they don't.
They do.
I feel
They
like they
do.
don't. No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
They really don't.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody gives a shit about running a marathon.
Okay.
That's not true. I do.
See?
And will you
How
be
many have you
doing
ran,
that?
Ron?
Yeah. Tell us, Ron.
I really want to run a half or a 5K.
Okay,
No,
that-
how
many have you
How
done?
many? How many have you
Oh.
ran?
Oh, I think about 20, 25.
Uh-huh.
And then I wake up and realize I haven't run any. So 0, actually.
And he thought he was sweating. He thought he was sweating, but he really just pissed all over himself.
Yeah.
There you go. There you
That's
go.
his idea of a wet dream.
Oh, Tremande.
Hey,
Way
Ron,
to go. I like
Ron,
that.
Yes. You consider what you do every week training, correct?
Yes, I do.
Oh, are you training for anything in particular?
yes, I am.
Okay. So you know how you said
What?
that
I heard that whisper. What was that, Tremande?
I said, don't fall for it.
Too late.
Too late.
It's too late.
you know how you said that you wanted to fight in a tournament before you die, basically.
I fought in a couple, but yeah,
No,
another
He
one would be
said-
nice.
Yes, he said.
He keeps saying over and over again that he wants to fight in a tournament. Not that you did. You keep saying it as in the present tense.
Yeah,
that you want to fight
okay,
in one.
yeah.
Well, there's a big
Yeah, I wanna
one.
be in a
There's
tournament.
there's a big one on the 17th,
It's open.
and it's an open
Open
tournament,
style.
and it's in Kalamazoo. You should totally go do it. Don't you think, Tremande?
Where,
I think
it's your
you
day
should.
off.
I think so. Yeah,
where's it at? Actually, you know what? Send me the link.
it's
I'll look
at the
into it.
Kellogg Arena.
In Battle
We
Creek.
don't need you to look into it. We need you to register
Kellogg
and
Arena's not in
win.
Battle Creek.
Yes,
Oh,
it
yeah,
is.
You're-
Downtown.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Kellogg Arena. Yep. Yeah, you should totally. You should go do that, Ron.
And win.
Oh, I probably won't win. I know that.
Well, not with that attitude.
But you've been training.
Yeah, you've been training more than
Have you-
everybody else, have you not? You've been training. You've been training for years, 2-3 times a week.
And you have a shiny new dogie.
Yeah,
You gotta show that motherfucker off.
yeah. What the shit, Ron? You don't even have to fight. You could just go there and do forms.
You're right. I could. All right.
They
I
have
could
weapons.
do form.
They have
Ron's
weapons also.
challenge. I sponsor your
Sponsor.
whatever.
What do you need to sponsor?
His-
Well, you don't have to
his
sponsor
tournament
anything.
fee. I sponsor him.
He won't do
I
it.
will pay your entry fee, Ron's.
He won't do it. But you could, Ron. I mean, they
Ron's
have weapons.
challenge.
They have weapons and forms. You don't have to fight. As a matter of fact, I would recommend that you don't. But you could go there
Don't
for.
fight what?
No, you could go. You don't have to do every
You can do
category.
tournament. You could do forms and weapons and
Like I
yeah.
already said?
Yeah.
Like I fucking said?
Yeah, shut up. I'm just reiterating and I'm just supporting you.
Are you reiterating or are you restating?
I'm both.
What-
Next
what's the
time I
difference
show
between
support for
reiterating
you,
and restating?
motherfucker.
Anyway, think about it, Rons. Think it over. All right. We've reached that point in the show where
We have, haven't we?
I want to choke all cast members except for Tremande. And so
You want to choke? Tremonde wants you to choke him.
at this time, the members of the Slaptail Squad ask Tremonde ignorant questions about being gay.
Also, as a side note, gayhead is what Ron's from the Slaptail podcast wants Tremonde to give him.
Hiyo.
It's
There we go.
time for Pride Side Chat with Tremonde, our own sexual chocolate, our personal pudding pop. Ron, do you have a question for Tremonde this week?
Yeah, I actually do.
Is it a question that you've asked before?
Yes, it probably is.
Oh,
Okay.
Because no matter what it is, you're going to say, motherfucker, you've already asked that.
Well, let's see. Go ahead.
Because most times,
It's true.
Most of the time, yeah, you have.
So, Tremonde, since we're talking about failures and bad habits of quitting and all that,
Is it
what's the
different
one
as a
thing you
quitter?
could change about...
Is it different to quit as a gay person?
No, I wasn't going to go there.
Do gay people
So
quit
what's the
differently?
one bad...
Do they
Stop!
throw?
Give him a moment to put his own foot in his mouth.
Do they throw glitter? Do they throw glitter after they quit?
and then twirl out the room.
You know, that would be a fucking epic way to quit. I like that. I really do. That's a fucking epic way to quit.
Oh, that's
Throw
pretty
glitter out and say, I'm out of here.
Go ahead. Ask
I
your
like that.
question.
That Beaveman, are you sure you're just not a little bit gay? Because that's actually a fantastic way to quit.
Everyone's a little bit gay around.
It's just... Oh, okay.
Everyone.
Everyone.
That's why men check out other men in the locker rooms.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say. I said everybody. What I said was everybody's a little bit gay. Not everybody's a pervert like you, Tremonde. That's what I said. Not everyone
Hey,
is.
I know you.
sexually-
I know you guys
Not
look.
everyone is sexually inappropriate. All right.
I don't think it's inappropriate to look. I mean, gawk and
That's
be
it.
fucking creepy weird is, yeah, a little bit different than to like glance
That's
over.
different.
Mm.
Yeah, when you get an
Ron,
up and
ask
down
your
and back up and
question.
down, that's creepy. But if you just glance
Juan,
over,
shut the fuck up and let
No.
Ron ask his question.
okay,
So-
Ron's.
The question is, what's the one bad habit that you would like your significant other to quit? Or what you think is a bad habit that would make everything better for you?
So this is like a personal relationship question as opposed to a.
I mean, it could be he could be not gay or gay, and it didn't. The question could be the same. Like,
Well, yeah, the not gay thing probably wouldn't help the
It
relationship.
seems like you are just prying into Tremonde's relationship.
he's just taking mental
your
notes
own
for himself.
nefarious reasons.
Yeah.
What does
He's
this have
trying
to
to
do?
What type
Stir
of
up
nefarious reasons
drama.
would that be?
What does this have to do with Pride Side Chat? Just out of curiosity. Will his
Because the
answer be
problem is that-
different? You think his answer is different because he's gay?
Well, why don't you fucking let him answer it?
I'll allow it.
So, I like that. I will allow this question to continue, Your Honor.
So I
Don't understand his line of questioning.
my my answer to your question, I can answer it, but that could be a question that you ask anyone, despite of what their sexual orientation is. So that's not necessarily specifically to me being gay. It's just a general question about my relationship
Yeah. Which is what you
that
said.
happens to be with a man.
Yes.
I have a question. I have a question
Okay, let's
since
hear it.
Ron's question
Wait,
was.
I
low.
want to hear Tremonde's
Okay, well,
answer
then
because
question.
all Ron was doing is trying to stir up relationship drama for his own personal gain.
No, I wasn't. I was trying to make,
Mhm.
Okay.
So
That's
something that my partner has a tendency to do, he'll make dishwater and just leave it in the sink.
You make dishwater.
Like dirty dishwater or clean dishwater?
Well, sometimes it's like make some water, need something to soak in it, but then other dishes just start to.
So
You
he
put
just
it in the
leaves it
sink.
there for you to do it, basically.
Not necessarily for me to do it. He'll just like make water and then just like leave it for a little while, which I'm like, if you're going to make dishwater, then like it need to be used and drained immediately. But that's just a pet peeve of mine.
Okay, so just so you know, when you say make dishwater, in my mind's eye, I'm thinking about how, old people used to talk when they'd say, I have to make water.
Like, take a
So
pee.
when you say make dishwater, I'm thinking that somebody's peeing in the sink and adding dish soap.
Okay.
I just wanted to clarify.
Okay.
Making dishwater.
Okay. I've never.
Yeah, I've never heard of
You've never
anything
peed
like
in a
that.
sink? You're saying you never peed in a sink?
I've peed in the sink.
I have.
Okay, then.
What?
Ron's, you saying you've never peed in the sink?
No, I
Ron's?
haven't.
You've never
No.
peed in the sink?
No.
Oh, jeez.
No, I
Not
can
even
say
as
no.
Not even as a bebe.
I'm sure he has.
That's probably out of my scope of memory, but I can say no at this particular point.
Okay, that's your only problem, huh? That was... What a uniquely gay response.
Isn't it? What do you think, Ron?
Well, it beats that. What's the one thing, if you could, along, and here's the follow-up question, that you could change in the gay community that everybody kind of looks down
How's that
on?
a follow-up question? to
No,
the question
now he's
you
trying
just
to make
asked?
it gay. Like, you can't.
Honestly, I don't, I
You
just thought that was a really good
understand
question
the-
that I had.
Hold on.
But
do you-
apparently to the Beaveman, it is not a very good question.
No, that's not it. What
Right.
I'm saying is you could say I have an additional question, but if you say you have a follow-up question, it usually relates to the question that came before it, hence it being a follow-up question. That's all I was saying.
All right.
So I failed to see how your latest question...
You're right. You're absolutely right,
It's a
Beaveman. I
follow-up
have failed
question.
you. There is one of my
He
first
fails
failures.
English. He fails English. Grammar.
Because speaking is hard.
Words are hard.
Words is tough. Words is
So
tough.
basically, your second question, because your first one wasn't gay enough, is...
And what defines a gay question,
Well,
by the way?
I mean, your other question was like totally just
Well, I mean, it's a...
I'm taking my personal survey on what Tremonde likes and doesn't like for
Yeah,
my...
it's a segment of the show called Tremonde's Pride Side Chat. I mean, I explain it pretty in detail what it is that we're
Do
doing.
you now?
But then you just always seem to want to ask a question about his relationship, which to me
Well,
seems
okay. Now, first of all,
suspicious.
let's face it. I mean, I think there are a lot of people.
Nobody cares.
Well, hold on.
about-
Well, here, let me put it like this. Back in the day, when I was growing up, having a gay friend was a taboo thing. It wasn't talked about. It really wasn't. Nowadays, it's so out in the open that we can talk about it, and no one blinks an eye.
Yeah, but
I
your
would
question
argue-
to him was not gay. I mean, it wasn't anything about being gay. It was just a normal, hey, friend, what's something that bothers you about your significant
See,
other?
now, once again, you failed. You're failing here. That
I'm not failing.
you couldn't ask the question like, what's it like being in a gay relationship versus a straight relationship?
I would argue
You
that
couldn't ask that question. Nowadays, no one thinks it twice. It's just a relationship, and that's the
Right.
way it should have been
Exactly.
treated.
That's
It's a
why
relationship,
you-
so that's why your question is not in line with
I'm
Pride
kind of
Side
going old
Chat.
school here.
No, you're
I'm
just
kind
being
of-
No,
cringy
you
and
just
weird,
want
and
to
you
know
just
about.
want to...
You just want to be
No.
nosy about his relationship. Okay, let me put it this way: nobody gives two fucking shits about my relationship with Swan. So much so that we don't talk about it. Nobody gives a shit about Tremonde's relationship, also, except for you. And nobody gives a shit about your relationship. There you
Yeah,
go.
so basically nobody gives a shit.
It's not.
Wow,
It's not a
this is
relationship.
fucking dark.
It's not a fucking relationship podcast. If you want to get all freaking candle burning,
Sparkle
know.
throwing.
sparkles throwing,
Whoa, no,
flower licking,
don't.
whatever.
Flower licking?
Yeah, flower licking.
Oh,
So you can put it on your nips after you lick it. It sticks.
Huh.
Anyway,
What's your
Those
if
gay
you
are
want to
question?
do all that, then you're on the wrong podcast, my friend.
So, Beefman,
and we are a
what's-
podcast of idiots, so don't take us seriously.
If
Or
you
just
were
we have a
going
big
to,
idiot for sure.
if you were going to add a third to your relationship, Tremonde, what would you be looking for in a third to include what sexual orientation, sexual preference, etc., etc.?
is this just what part are we welcoming this third into the relationship?
Oh well, this is your own.
Are we
Wish
welcoming
list.
them
This is your own wish list.
into? Okay, so then I would probably just welcome a third in the bedroom.
Yeah, not as I'm not saying that you have to have an actual like
A relationship.
relationship. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I'm staying strictly with the boudoir.
Yeah, so it would have to be someone who's verse.
Explain that. I don't.
Verse?
Say it again.
What does that mean?
Verse? What is verse?
So verse means they're
go
a
all
top and a
ways.
bottom. They're a giver and receiver.
Okay.
Okay.
Ron's, are you ready?
And
Write this down, Ron.
I am.
Mental note,
I
okay?
am.
Are you writing this down?
I am making a mental note and taking notes.
they would have to be pretty open to all things oral and
Earl or oral?
oral.
Okay.
Take notes.
And-
Spelling is hard too, Ron. So it's ORAL. Write that down.
AL.
Got that.
And yeah, like body shape and all that. I don't really discriminate as long as the you know what isn't too small.
Ron's was like,
No,
okay.
what is too
Oh,
small?
darn it. Do you have a
Like-
measurement for Ron's? Because he's got a ruler right now.
Hopefully he does not have a
He's like,
Hopefully his pants are on right now. If his pants are not on right now, we're all gonna have some issues. Ron,
Yeah.
are your
You
pants
know,
on right now?
we do have a couple of followers that are going to come
he's
probably
like,
up to me and they're going, yeah.
Is it in centimeters or inches?
Or they're like, I did not know that about you.
Now,
And
here is
actually-
a follow-up question, and this is how this works. Here's a follow-up question, Tremonde.
Tell me.
Ron's like, still taking notes.
Would this be, do you think that you and your significant other then would have like a literal interviewing type process, background checks, lab testing, all that stuff? Like,
yes.
Would you like sit down and actually come up with your list of questions to ask and all that fun stuff?
Yes, and maybe like do it over like dinner and not necessarily like write down the responses, obviously,
sure,
but
yeah.
just kind of go in knowing what you're looking for, seeing if it works, because you don't want to put yourself in that space and then not work. So then you have to say, actually, can you put your clothes on and leave?
Right.
So I have a question. Mine's kind of
Is
mine's
this
a follow-up. It
this
is
a
too.
follow-up question.
Do you think that your list and your significant other's list match of those requests, or would you compromise? Or
Probably have to be some sort of a combination, some sort of
Yeah.
combo plan.
well, I'm just like, would their requests be the same? And if not, would you
What you're saying
compromise?
is how much difference would there
Yeah.
be between their two lists?
Yeah, I think that there will be possibly like some differences, whereas like I'm like open to more races. He has a preference of one race.
Is it black?
So there will be some things that will be different.
Is
He
it,
likes the big black
is it black?
ear.
Well, he didn't get the nickname sexual chocolate for anything.
He likes
first
his
of
big
all,
black
Essential.
lips.
Essential chocolate. Yes, yeah,
Sexual chocolate.
no. Essential.
Sasha.
Essential chocolate.
Yeah. Right, Tremonde?
That's it.
That's it.
Okay. Anything other? So he probably wants somebody jacked though.
So I want to. Maybe we should They should make a list for us, and we can compare like anonymously.
Oh yes, let's involuntarily
Well, Tremonde's supposed to be.
involuntarily make his significant other take
Look,
part in our process.
I've gotten you one substitute,
I don't think you understand the tag ins one.
I've tagged in his significant other for a replacement for next week, since Tremonde is only here every other week. I got you 1 week's replacement.
Why don't you tag him in for me so that I don't have to be a part of our relationship? Hiya!
Hiyo!
Oh,
So do you think a lot of straight couples would welcome a third into the bedroom?
Oh no, I think that's disgusting. That is definitely not anything that I personally would ever want. There's no way I want some hot chick in her 30s participating in ours. Definitely not someone with a heart-shaped ass and flat abdomen and no, That'd be
That would
terrible.
be totally terrible.
Small hands.
You're done. Oh, boy.
Ron's.
There would have to be a vetting process, as Tremonde would say. You know, you have to ask some questions.
Beaveman, what do you think some of Ron's questions would be?
Way to go, Tremonde. Way to go. Throw me under that proverbial bus.
Do you like martial arts? Do you practice martial arts? What unit of measure are you accustomed to?
Do you like Linux?
Do you like things that are outdated?
Keep going. Those are all the questions I would ask.
Is
He's like,
is
ding, ding, ding.
conversation important to you? And if so, are you the one who has to talk all the time, or is it okay if I do?
Do you
what
prefer
else?
to record with a green screen or not?
Well, you know, no one mentioned cameras, but that's a really good question. Are there going to be cameras present?
Can you help me open this jar? Let's see what else.
Would you like to come over for coitus?
If you saw a down power line, what would you do?
All right. That's a good one. I like that.
Do you mind if I wear my belt?
Let's see. What questions do you think he would ask Tremonde?
I don't even know. I'm not as funny as you are, so I thought that yours would be more funny than mine are.
Ron's, what questions would you ask?
What's your preference on...
Well, it would have to be you because they already saw you, so they would have to be, you know, willing to get with that.
podcast?
Wait. So, Ron's, would you
Yes.
want someone who is like potentially bi
Sounds
or
like-
just straight
sounds like-
lesbian?
Kind of sounds like he didn't say he was
He
asking
didn't-
for a girl or
I
a
was gonna
guy.
say, would you want a male or a female? And
Definitely female, but I mean, if you put her as a lesbian, then nothing's ever going to happen between me and her.
Well,
I like how that just logic blew your mind. You're like,
it didn't
oh,
blow
yeah,
our
he's
minds.
right.
We,
well, it didn't blow
No,
my mind
no.
because I was thinking even if she was straight, that's no guarantee anything's going to happen with you either. You might be better off getting a guy.
poor Tremonde.
Swan, what questions
Oh, well.
what questions would you ask, Swan?
I don't have any.
You don't have any questions. You're just down with anything.
Yep, I'm down with it.
Swan's like, I'm just down with it. I don't have any questions. No questions.
I mean, the only do you eat the cat? Because I'm not doing yours, but you can do mine.
Okay, that's a question.
Hey.
That's what I got. I'm not giving
That is a
back,
good
but
question.
I'll take it.
You say you're not giving back, but
I'm not giving back. Nope,
I'm not.
I'm not.
I don't know what anybody says.
Nope,
What if? No, I'm not going to do it.
nope.
Do it.
No. No. I'll
Do
answer-
it.
That's a question that I would ask off the air, just for fun.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for me then.
Can you just send it in the group chat so I can see what it is?
Well, okay. Somebody else has to talk while I send something in the group chat.
Ron's.
Yeah. Well,
You can give your shout outs right here, Rons.
oh, yeah. Shout out to Colin,
see.
by the way, because he messaged me, believe it or not, saying
Who?
the rom-com was one of the... Colin.
Who the fuck is
The
Colin?
one you called Colin? You called him Colin during one of our podcasts.
Are you going back like 50 fucking podcasts? I don't even know what you're talking about.
No, dude, type your damn question. Let me talk. Is that he gave a shout out in message to me saying the rom-com podcast that we did was one of the funniest yet. He loved it, right? He it was great. So, he was complimenting you. Fucking take it and run with it. That is a great question.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I will do my shout out
So-
to JD Hutchins of the Monsters Lair. If you like spooky podcasts, go ahead and give him a listen. You can find that anywhere you listen to
Definitely.
podcasts, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and of course, my favorite podcast, Last Podcast on the Left, the coolest. And of course, listen to us, share it. And we are still looking for some folks that might be interested in being squad members. So if you know anybody or anybody's interested, of course, there's an interview process. It's not quite as extensive as the one for the third in your boudoir, but it's still pretty exclusively extensive.
Yeah, if you can handle those questions, you might be allowed into the podcast.
All right then.
So that is
what?
That's an interesting question. By the
They
way,
have to send a home video of themselves answering those questions.
Oh, that would be fun. I mean, we can do that as an interview and just actually video them while we're doing the interview. We have the technology, Tremonde. This isn't the old days. This isn't the old days with Star Search.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying we have to send a third, and then they have to actually like do a live interview with the third.
Okay, good plan.
Yeah, get on that, Tremonde.
Yeah, get on that, Tremonde. It's your fucking job.
I'll watch that.
Well, that's it for me. The Beaveman saying, "Adios, much fuckos."
Bye from the Swan.
Deuces.
And from the Rons.
I don't know why there's such a
Stay
large
sane, my
pause.
friend. It's
Such
a crazy motherfucking world out there.
You sure?
It is.
Oh yeah, trust me on that.